You're welcome back to Sunday Breakfast on ChannelOne TV. Joining us for the Agri-Fair discussion is the one, the only, Firma Edunyave, Head of Events and Partnerships here at ChannelOne TV. Hi, Firma.
Hi, Eno.
It's been a while. You came once and then you abandoned us.
Well, until I get the invite, this is a very prestigious platform. You can't just be crashing.
Right?
Yes, I remember Heritage Caravan here.
Heritage Caravan was one other one. Bringing your...
No, it's an honor to be here.
It's an honor to have you on our show.
Your dress is popping, girl.
Thank you. Thank you.
And Judy, I say, fine package. Mensa. No, I co-sign that because Miss me remember too.
It's not easy, but we are trying, We are trying.
No, we are trying.
We are also trying.
To deal with you
I'm
people,
telling you,
we are trying.
No, sometimes some of the things I have to let go. I'm telling you.
Mr. Miss First Child, my boy.
No, but it's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. If you be a great mom,
A
they are
boy mom.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Proudly. Yes. You will love it. You'll love your boys, trust me.
I listened to you with and you were talking about the fact that your son is also a Mayborn, and you were proud to associate with Mayborns.
Oh no, you should give us something.
No, so it's funny because all of us on the set then means that we are all Mayborns. We are part of the fraternity.
Well, I don't see how you connect.
No, I'm actually a Mayborn.
Oh yeah, when is your birthday?
So I celebrated my birthday with a baby.
Yes, you did.
So I was listening when you were on his case the whole time, and I'm like, oh, Freba, like really, just
no,
just
but
cool down.
We are still searching with touchlights in the sun. We are looking for
find the person soon enough.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Freba, we're talking about Agri-Fair. Where did the whole idea and the concept come from? Channel One for.
Yeah, so when you listen to the CBS, there's this conversation about agriculture, about being self-sufficient as a nation. I mean, they've been on and on and on and on, and for us, we always say that there's more to what we do than just being a media house, all right? Now, there are certain things that you talk about. You also have a role to play. So when you look at some of the things we do, organizing roundtable discussions, organizing various fora, to discuss issues of national interest, and that is where Agri-Fair came from. In times past, we've done the campaign, for local rice. Yeah. We've done so much. We've done Made in Ghana Fairs. This is Ghana. We've done Eating What We Grow, indigenous meals from Ghana with a back to Village Food Festival. And we also know the difficulties that all the various arms in agriculture also have. The farmers, the challenge of transporting their goods or their produce from their farms to the marketplaces or for them to find their way to the consuming tables. And we also see the challenge that consumers also face, in purchasing some of these produce. Now, I always say that usually the people who benefit the most are those who don't have farms, the middlemen.
Yes.
They've not cultivated anything, they've not grown anything, but they are cashing in, because they have the means to go get these produce from the hinterlands, transport them, and come and sell them to us at exorbitant prices.
By 60 cedis.
Can you imagine? Meanwhile, of our Hobel 20 Ghana, do you get it? So cashing in at the expense of the farmer who toils and ensure that they produce these things for us. So Agri-Fair is an exhibition and a sales. Okay, so we are looking at how to connect the farmer directly to the consumer. No middlemen are required. So if you are into cassava cultivation, yam, rice, livestock, poultry, whatever it is, we are providing you with a platform to carry all your produce and then just get consumers to come in to just buy direct from source. And so for the good thing about that is for those of us who patronize these things, it also means that we are going to be buying them at farm gate prices. So we don't have to go through a middle person to get what we need. So we are just buying directly. And so that is going to be at very, very affordable prices. We need to solve a problem, and this is what we are doing with Agri-Fair.
Interesting. For me, I like the fact that beyond being able to sell at farm gate prices, you're also going to offer like some high-level discussions on how to scale. For example, if you're a business taking advantage of, agri-business opportunities.
Exactly.
I want to talk to us briefly about what other things beyond the buying and selling, will be engaged in at the agri fair.
So we will have a business clinic, all right?
Okay.
So we have experts coming in. So if you are into farming, you want to scale up, like you mentioned, we are going to bring in the experts to talk to you on how to do that, all the technicalities in farming. And then sometimes access to funding is also a real challenge.
Yeah.
So we have, when you see our sponsors, that we have DBG coming, we have Exim Bank coming, and so we also have Legacy Crop as well. So those who also want to go into agriculture, look, I think we've come to a stage in our lives where we should know that agriculture has moved on, or farming has moved on from carrying Wellington boots and cutlasses and hoes and going in there. There are mechanized farming that we can do, and so we should be considering,
it's
going
a
to
3.4 trillion,
absolutely,
economy.
Exactly.
And I'm referring to just agribusiness alone,
Yes.
right? So business opportunities within the agricultural sector. In 2024, it was pegged at 3.4 trillion, and it's expected to rise to 4.4 trillion by 2032. So there's enormous potential.
So much, so much.
In a manner that I feel like even Ghanaian, despite our land and everything, we are not taking advantage of. Hence the need for this.
Exactly, and Back to Your Village Food Festival has taught us that we love our meals, we love our indigenous meals. So I'm looking at, sometimes you think of farming and then you think of going to the land yourself, tilting it and doing all that. But really, you don't have to do that. You can be that businessman who sits back, get your people, get on there, get experts to let you know what you have to do, go through the entire chain, packaging staff. Look at what NAC is doing, crunchies, okay? Yeah. I mean, packaging stuff, now we love our plantain chips, we love all these things, go into all the CSIRs are doing. We have, look, a lot of people going into agriculture. What if having agriculture as a second source of income? You understand? Because so I think this is a great opportunity, and we are excited that we are leading this conversation. In as much as we are practicing, is also a national conversation that needs to be had, because we are spending so much, on imports. Now we are very excited about the dollar, the cedi appreciating and all that. But when we zoom in proper into all the imports and all, can we be singing the same thing? We need to find a solution to this. If for nothing at all, what we are eating, we should be able to produce it. It's quite embarrassing that we are importing onions and stuff like that, and force chicken and force everything. You understand? We can't do that. We are wearing second-hand clothes and we are eating second-hand chicken. What wrong have we done?
Aside the buying, the selling, and the business clinics, are we going to be able to taste some of the things?
Would you meet? Would you meet? I would say that for ChannelOne, we work so hard and we party so hard. You understand? And it has to go hand in hand. Ejuma kakra, enijebebre, ejuma kakra. So of course we can't be selling goats and cows and chicken
and not
taste them. It's not possible. You understand? So of course there'll be kebabs. Crying for us, our attention, and from all the meat that'll be presented. So chicken, the guinea fowls, the goats, the rabbits, the cow, everything. Yesterday on CBS, I heard a lot of people asking, what about cats? And they said, no, for the purposes of agri-fair, cats are pets. I said, Debbie.
And someone would argue that a rabbit is also a pet too.
No, but my issue is, you don't own a mansion, you want pets. No.
Well, you need to own a mansion before you can have a pet.
There's certain lifestyles that you have to reach a certain place. Master, the pet alone is another issue. It's like
a whole lot of money.
Child.
Yes.
This tangent time, we will start adding all sorts of things to it. So you have to be you have to be careful.
No, because
some meat we can't supply this, so we can't cross that line. But it's interesting.
No, but the beautiful thing is, whatever meat we are eating, we will see the
animal.
The
So if you can't sell the animal there. Don't come.
Don't come and ask for it. Simple.
Exactly. So if you've not seen cats, if you've not seen
Don't
them,
come and ask.
don't come and ask us, all right?
Cats,
But
I'll be looking forward to that, the catfish, pepper thing. They
Yes,
do.
yes.
Yeah.
Now catfish has
Business
huge
is-
markets.
the potential is
It's
amazing.
really raining.
Some fried
Yeah,
yam
yeah,
on the
yeah.
side.
Frema, talk to us about the venue, right? For the first time in my adult life, I see City doing something, I may be wrong, at the Ifua Sutherland Park, right? Of all places, why there, and what was the idea behind it?
Right, so we decided to go to the Ifua Sutherland Children's Park because of the nature of the program that we are having, the Agri Fair. This is practically a market, and we should have enough space to exhibit everything, enough space for you to go around to
I
shop.
think the food festival taught us a lot.
Pretty much, but with a food festival, we've just brought the ingredients and we are
And we
preparing the
prepared it
food,
there.
so you don't really need that huge space. Although a lot of people have argued that even walking around becomes challenging,
Yeah.
that will be looked at. But this, if we are bringing goats, goats are kind of very stubborn.
to be
You
fair.
understand?
Yeah.
If goats were
Yeah.
human beings, I'm sure they would call Mensa.
And I take strong exceptions, and I demand an unqualified apology
I retract.
on behalf of all
retract.
Mensa,
I retract.
including the venerable Mensa Tamil.
I didn't think about that.
You didn't even mention Atamensa.
Even he are pardon because his
Makani,
Mensa is like the
Makani.
Mensa sending, right? So Frema, clearly you are out of order.
Makani, Irish rock. You know how it is when you are fighting with an adult and
Yeah.
you say that, my uncle
Oh,
gave me
right.
a second, I said, when you go, say everything you want to say. When they ask you to apologize, don't even ask you, then you apologize. I retract and apologize reservedly. So we are bringing the goats, we are bringing the
Sheep.
sheep. Don't
Yeah.
forget that it is an exhibition. So we are bringing everything that we have. And this is also to promote the idea of enjoying fresh produce. So we have the animals, the livestock there. We have the fresh produce, the vegetables, the cassava, the rice, the maize. I mean everything, the fruits, everything. We are buying them fresh. If for nothing at all, you know that for this you can just buy it fresh and go and store it in your freezers, all right? You know that at least you can count. Because we are eating certain stuff from places that we don't even know how long they've been in the freezers before getting to us, all right? So this is a way of letting us know that we have the people who are producing, the farmers, and we have those who are also very much interested in eating organic meals.
Yeah.
So we are putting them together. Now, beyond this, we also want people to carry the relationship beyond just the 3 days of the Agri Fair.
Yeah. So there should be a lot of partnerships and all of that.
Absolutely. So now,
Yeah.
if you are a restaurant, if you are a hotel, you know that I can source my meat, I can source my local produce for these people.
Yeah.
We need to create that
Yeah.
enabling environment to create that businesses
Yeah.
for the farmers because
Interesting.
we need to support
If you ask
them.
me, I think that's even like a big part of what all this is about, right?
Absolutely.
Because the next time people don't have to go through middlemen again in
Yes.
sourcing their stuff. But interesting, when Bernard discussed this on radio the other time, he mentioned that he went with you to the national service to go
Yes.
and do a couple of
Yes.
meetings.
Yes.
And I know they have a really huge farm.
Yes.
Are they coming?
Oh, national service is coming. They are bringing their birds, they are bringing their farm produce, their
Yeah.
crops and stuff that they do. They are bringing everything. Look, yesterday I wanted to get chicken from national service. We couldn't even get some.
It was finished.
Not finished, but the people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So this means that the market is
The
there.
demand- the demand is obviously there.
But sometimes, as I've mentioned, is the difficulty and the stress of going through, middlemen, having to go to the market to get all that. We always say that the local produce are quite expensive.
Yeah.
But we've also learned that we add on to making the whole thing expensive because something that you did not grow, you are not planting. You want to cash in to be able to, get your annual revenue from just one sale. And this is what is creating the price hikes. Sometimes,
Yeah.
there are other factors and indicators, but we are just giving the platform to our farmers to bring everything that you are producing. If you are a middleman, we have a lot of people calling us to register, but they are into processing of food, they are into packaging of food, they buy from the local farmers and then they process them. This is not your exhibition. Your exhibition will come in August. This is Ghana. where you can bring all your packaged stuff as long as it's done in Ghana. But for this, it's really for the farmers. So we want to hear maybe Mensa farms, Safo farms, this, you know. So we want to promote our farmers and promote what they do.
Is there more room for exhibitors, and is it free for us to come in?
Absolutely. You know, for us, when we have our events, patrons come in for free. Okamakole, you're free. So coming to the Agri Fair is also free. Just bring your basket, just bring your money, come and shop and go and keep them in the fridge, you know. Man shall not live by just bags and shoes, you know, but sometimes the quality chicken and the quality plantain that you are eating also counts. So there's still room for registration. So if you are a farm, if you are into agro stuff, anything, you know, that has to do with the agribusiness, you are invited to be part of the Agri Fair. And it's happening on the 20th to the 22nd of June. 20th to 22nd of June. You realize this is a 3-day event?
Yes.
So
the first time
Friday.
ever, right?
Yes.
Why is that? It starts on a Friday.
Yeah. No, so we just want to give room for people to really be able to do the shopping, for people to exhibit what they have. This is not just something fun we are doing. We really need to solve a certain problem in the country, and this is what we have to do. And we believe that 3 days is enough for people to be able to transport whatever they want to be able to bring, settle down, at least have one full day of, you know, it's quite a lot, because we are getting calls from Volta region, we are getting calls from Northern region, we are getting calls from Ashanti region. So if someone is bringing goods, you know,
you need to give them enough time.
You know,
you have a restraining order. You know, I'll call my counsel. You know,
if someone is bringing goods, you know, all the way from, let's say, Kumasi or from Volta region, bringing their tilapia, their stuff like that. It takes a lot. It's not just like maybe food festival that you just bag your stuff, your ingredients and bring. So we really want people to have enough time to exhibit what they have, and also for those of us who are going to shop to be able to shop enough. You know, market stuff, doing market shopping takes a lot of time. So we need time. You know, exactly.
This is so important that we do, also because if you go through the budget, right, agriculture had one of the least budget allocations, right? So 1.5 billion Ghana cedis. If you compare it to what was for government expenditures for salaries, the road fund, district assembly fund, even health, clearly, you know, it looked as though not a lot of plan has gone into. So it's important that as a media platform, we take this very seriously, you know, to highlight its importance. And of course, the job opportunities within the sector. A lot of people don't know the fact that it's not necessarily, you know, if we say the agri sector, for example, it's not necessarily being a farmhand or growing the cattle or the livestock yourself. There are different career opportunities.
Everything is,
you know, so I like that we're also going to highlight, you know, that point. But the biggest highlight for me, or the greatest excitement, all of this, that I get to chew meat. So I'll not even come here and pretend that.
No. You can't pretend about chewing meat. That's what the meat will chew.
Amazing.
And enough, you know. And we never do have our events without a bit of entertainment and stuff. So that will also come as well. It's too early, you know, to give everything. If we say everything today, what will we say tomorrow?
Remember, you really came today. I'll get people from the former vice president's office to give you a call.
Relax.
So in the words of Rima, if she says everything today,
what will she say tomorrow?
Mensa, you got problem.
Wow. No, but I think this is amazing, right? So kudos to the team. You know, somebody said when you're on radio that City always delivers, right? Irrespective of like what the event is about. And we have no doubts that we'll go definitely well. We want to also urge support, right? So if you are watching, just make sure you find your way to the Fuas Sutherland Children's Park, right opposite the National Theatre and adjacent Kempinski. Around Kempinski, and you know, let's have it. Let's support our own, really. That's what it's all about.
From are there any numbers to call?
Yes,
for
so
any
please
inquiries?
call us on 0205 973 973, 0205 973 973.
And are we open for sponsorship? More sponsors?
Absolutely, of course. You know, so the conversation on agriculture concerns everybody. It concerns all of us. You know, this is a basic conversation that we all must be very interested, because whichever sector you find yourself, there's something for you to do in agriculture. Economists are part of agriculture, creatives are part of agriculture, marketers are part of agriculture, the farmers themselves, government, private institutions, corporate Ghana. I mean, this is what makes us agriculture. We are what we eat.
Yeah.
And so
True.
we must be very, very interested. All of us must be interested. And we say a special thank you to our sponsors so far, because we know more are coming. So the Ghana Exim Bank, we are very grateful to you. Development Bank Ghana as well, and Legacy Crop Investment Center. We are super, super excited. And we are waiting for the many of you out there who are also coming. This is a project that is being led by ChannelOne TV and City FM, but this should be considered a national project. Somebody has to lead, but we all have to get involved.
Amazing. Somebody has to lead, but we all have to get involved. And gladly, we will lead this amazing charge, right? Prima, I have no words for you, really.
Thank you for having
you
me.
hear from my lawyers. Wow. So that's all time will allow us for this really important conversation on the Agri Fair that will be happening later this month. And we'll take a quick break. When we are back, that's sports right here on ChannelOne TV Sunday Breakfast. Don't go away.